Okay. So that video went slightly longer than I wanted it to, but we're on Coriolanus's big speech on 26, on the first bottom of the first column of 26. So let's take a look at this thing. Um, so Coriolanus, he tells him his name, and he says, "The painful service, the extreme dangers, and the drops of blood shed for my thankless country are requited but with that surname, a good memory and witness of the malice and displeasure which they should bear me." Right? They treated me really badly. Only a name remains. Right? I did the only thing. I fought for Rome, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt. Right? I fought for Rome, and all I got in return was the name Coriolanus. He says, "The cruelty and envy of the people permitted by our dastard nobles," that's the shitty upper class, "who have all forsook me," right? They all got rid of me, have devoured the rest, and suffered me by the voice of slaves to be whooped out of Rome, right? It's the slaves, meaning like the lower class people, got to kick me out of the country. Um, Now this extremity, meaning this extreme situation of being banished, now this extremity hath brought me to thy hearth, not out of hope, mistake me not, to save my life. For if I had feared death, of all the men in the world, I would have avoided thee. Right? He says, I didn't come here to save my life, because, I mean, if I was scared about dying, I wouldn't have come to you. You want to kill me. He has another reason. He's not here to save his life. If he wanted to stay, if Coriolanus just wanted to stay alive, he could have just kept living in the field. So he says, "I didn't come to you to save my life." Right? In fact, this is probably going to get me killed coming to see you. But he has something that's, as always with Coriolanus, there's something more important than his life. He has a bigger aim. Um, and he says, "Now this extremity has brought me to thy hearth, not out of hope, mistake me not, to save my life. For if I had feared death, of all the men in the world, I would have avoided thee, but in mere spite." That's hate. He's not come here to save his life. He's come here for spite, for hatred. "To be full quit of those my banishers." He wants revenge on Rome. "To be full quit of those my banishers, shall I before thee here, stand I before thee here. Then if thou hast a heart of a reek in thee," if you want to cause trouble, "then if thou hast a heart of a reek in thee, that wilt revenge thine own particular wrongs, and stop those maims of shame seen through my country, speed thee straight, and make my misery serve thy turn." Right? I'm miserable, but I can help you. "So use it, that my revengeful services may prove as benefits to thee. For I will fight against my cankered country with the spleen of all the under fiends." He says, "I will fight, right? Use me. They treated me like shit. You can use my anger. I will fight. I will fight against my cankered, means diseased. Spleen is anger, and the under fiends are like demons from hell. So he says, I will fight against my diseased country with all of the anger and rage of a demon. Um, but if so to be, darest not this," or if you don't want to do it, "and that to prove more fortunes thou art tired, then in a word I also am longer to live most weary, and present my throat to thee and thy ancient malice, which not to cut would show thee but a fool, since I have ever followed thee with hate, drawn turns of blood out of thy country's breast, and cannot live but to thy shame, unless it be to do thee service." So if he wanted to live happily ever after, or just live at all, Coriolanus could have just hung out a field somewhere and just, lived off the land. He could have been a farmer or something, but Coriolanus can't be a farmer. We talked before the end of the semester about how one of the things that makes Shakespeare characters, and really one of the ways that drama works, is that drama says, it's character. It's who you are. The problems that plague you. It's not just Shakespeare doesn't write stories about a dragon who shows up and kills everybody. The problems that the people have in Shakespeare plays are caused by themselves. One of my favorite quotes that I ever heard was, somebody said, I thought this was really funny. Somebody said, "If you meet an asshole, whatever, so what? You met an asshole. But if everybody you meet is an asshole, then you're the asshole." Right? But you may be causing your own problems. I knew somebody who used to have a terrible experience in restaurants, and she was always furious that the waiter, this waiter treated me like crap, and they were so mean to me in this restaurant. The service here is terrible, and blah 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 blah. And she didn't understand. It was because she was being a jerk. She would go to the restaurant in a bad mood, and then you know what waiters do? If you come at them in a bad mood, well, some of them will come with a bad mood right back. They're mad that you're treating them like crap. But she could never figure out that she was the cause of the bad service she got in restaurants. Because I would go to the same restaurant and everybody would be nice to me because I was nice to them. Your relationships with people are often. I was complimenting someone once who worked in like a Xerox machine place where they were helping me with my copies for the semester. I said, "Oh, you guys are so nice. I really appreciate it." And the guy said, "It's only a mirror." And I was like, "What does that mean, though?" But now I thought about it. It makes sense. It's only a mirror. He was saying because I was nice, he was nice. Because he was nice, I was nice. You kind of carry wherever you go. There you are. And Coriolanus, wherever he goes, he's him. And he can't change who he is. And it's one of the complicated things in Shakespeare. Is on the one hand, I hate Coriolanus because he hates everyday poor people, and he would hate me. I'm not a soldier. I would do terribly as a soldier. I would do so bad as a soldier. I would be the worst. Mike Birbiglia has a joke where he says something like, he says, I would make the worst soldier because I'd be like, man, you mean I have to carry this gun and run away? It's too heavy and I have to run away. I would be a terrible, terrible soldier. I'm a great Shakespeare professor. Um, so Coriolanus, the problem with Coriolanus is I don't like him because he's very mean, and he's cruel to everyday people. Plus, also he's a traitor against his country. That's not great. I don't like these things. But I do kind of like him because he's true. Whatever you want to say about Coriolanus and his problems, the guy's true to himself. Wherever he goes, he is who he is. He's not capable of just being a farmer somewhere. He is a soldier and he needs battles. And so he could just live happily ever after on a farm somewhere, or live off the land, or just be a homeless drifter. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to go team up with Aufidius. Now, Aufidius is probably going to murder me. But if he doesn't murder me, he might help me kill Rome. So I'm going to go see Aufidius because he literally would rather chance being murdered by Aufidius so that he can fight again, so that he can be himself again, rather than take up some other kind of life. He's incapable of taking on another role. And this is something that comes up in a lot of Shakespeare plays. Macbeth is a great soldier. He has trouble taking on another role. Romeo and Juliet can't be anything but fiercely and fastly in love with one another. Othello cannot help but be who he is, and that's what causes the problem. Yeah, okay, so with that in mind, let's jump back in here. Yeah. Okay. 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 All right. So actually, you know what? I think I think this seems like a good stopping point because I'm gonna start the next video with the next big speech. So I think I'm pretty much done. But he says, like, you might as well kill me, all right? Because to not kill me you'd be a fool not to kill me because I caused you so much trouble. But he says, but if I can help you, if I can do these service, if I can help in some way, then I might be worth saving. So okay, I'm gonna stop this now and start the next video.